My boss stole my work, so I let him take the fall. They used to call me lucky. Lucky to have that job. Lucky to work under him. Lucky to even be in the room. That's what everyone said when I joined the company. Friends, relatives, even strangers who barely understood what I did. The office was modern. The logo was respected. The pay, they said, would come later. Later never came. I was underpaid, overworked, and invisible. The kind of invisible that doesn't disappear. You're still there, just never acknowledged. Meetings happened around me. Decisions were made using my work, my research, my late nights, and somehow my name never made it into the room. My boss loved that. He loved standing at the front of meetings, sleeves rolled up, voice confident, talking about vision and innovation. He loved praise. He loved applause. And he loved taking credit for things he never touched. I told myself it was normal. That's how people survive toxic workplaces, by normalizing what hurts them. I stayed late. I answered emails at midnight. I fixed problems no one else could. And every time I delivered something big, he'd nod once and say, "Good, I'll take it from here." I didn't realize what that really meant until the contract. The $1 million one. I had spent 3 months building that proposal. 3 months of research, projections, risk analysis, strategy decks. I knew every slide by heart. I could have presented it in my sleep. The day of the pitch, I sat in the conference room, laptop open, heart pounding. My boss stood up. He didn't invite me to speak. He didn't even look at me. He presented my idea like it was born in his head. Every word, every insight, every solution. When the client applauded, when executives stood up smiling, when cameras flashed for internal press, I watched my work turn into his moment. Then came the announcement. "We've secured the contract," the CEO said proudly. Thanks to his leadership. Everyone clapped. My boss shook hands, smiled, took photos. Someone whispered to me, "You're so lucky to work under him." I smiled. That smile took everything I had. That night I went home and sat in the dark, laptop still in my bag, hands shaking. I wanted to scream. I wanted to report him. I wanted to expose everything. But anger makes mistakes. Silence plans better. So I waited. I didn't confront him. I didn't complain to HR. I didn't send emotional emails. Instead, I did something quieter. I stopped cleaning his messes. See, for years, I had been protecting him without realizing it. Fixing errors, adjusting files, rewording emails before they reached executives, making sure everything looked polished. I stopped. I archived everything instead. Every file he claimed. Still traced to my login. Every draft he copied. Time-stamped. Every email where he forwarded my work with his name on it. Saved. I didn't create a trap. I simply stepped out of the way. 2 months later, auditors arrived. No announcement, no warning, just quiet suits walking into the office with calm expressions and sharp questions. People panicked. My boss laughed it off at first. "Routine," he said. "Happens all the time." Then they asked for documentation. Original files. Creation logs. Internal correspondence. His smile faded. I watched from my desk as color drained from his face. He kept calling meetings, whispering into his phone, packing. For the first time, he looked unsure. The auditors didn't rush. They never do. They followed the trail. And the trail didn't lead to him. It led to me. Not as the thief. As the creator. Emails showed my drafts sent weeks before his final versions. Metadata showed my login, my timestamps. Slack messages showed him asking for updates, then presenting them unchanged. I was called into a room. I told the truth. Calmly, factually, without emotion. I didn't accuse him. I didn't need to. The evidence did it for me. A week later, he was gone. No farewell email. No explanation. Just an empty office and rumors whispered between cubicles. People avoided my eyes at first. Then slowly they started nodding, asking questions, listening. The CEO called me in. "You should have spoken up earlier," he said. I nodded. "I didn't need to," I replied. 2 days later, I was promoted. Not loudly, not dramatically. Just quietly placed where I had always belonged. My salary doubled. My title changed. My work finally had my name on it. I didn't celebrate. I sat at my desk, opened a new document, and started fresh. Justice didn't scream. It waited. And when it arrived, it didn't look like revenge. It looked like balance. Viral title. My boss stole my idea. I let him destroy himself. Thumbnail text. He took credit for my work. I said nothing. Then auditors arrived. Emails surfaced. Careers ended. Justice didn't shout, it waited. 23, nauseated face. My husband said I was nothing without him, so I let him watch me become everything. I met him when I was 23. I remember the exact day, not because it was magical, but because it felt safe. He was confident, calm, the kind of man who spoke like he already knew how the story would end. After years of uncertainty, that felt comforting. He used to say, "Stick with me, I'll take care of everything." And for a long time, I believed him. I gave up things for him quietly, opportunities, plans, a job offer in another city. He never asked me directly. He didn't have to. Every time something came up, he'd sigh and say, "Do what you want. I just thought we were building a life together." So I chose together. Marriage came fast after that. Small wedding, smiles for photos, promises whispered like guarantees. The first year was fine. The second year was quieter. The third year, I started disappearing. It didn't happen all at once. That's the dangerous part. Control never kicks down the door. It rearranges the furniture slowly until you don't recognize the room anymore. He began correcting me in front of others, laughing when I talked too much, finishing my sentences. If you really understood how the world works, if you'd ever handled real responsibility, if you just listened to me. I told myself he was stressed. That's what women are trained to do, explain men to themselves. I stopped arguing, stopped pushing back. I learned the art of agreeing without existing. One night, during a dinner with his friends, someone asked what I did. Before I could answer, he smiled and said, "She doesn't really work, she helps me." Everyone laughed. I laughed too. Later in the car, I said quietly, "That hurt." He didn't even look at me. "You're too sensitive," he said. "You should be grateful. Without me, you'd have nothing." That sentence didn't explode. It sank. I didn't respond. I stared out the window and watched streetlights pass like unanswered questions. Something changed that night, not dramatically, not loudly, just a small click inside me, like a lock finally turning. I stopped trying to be seen by him. Instead, I started seeing myself. I began waking up earlier, reading while he slept, learning things he never thought I'd need. Skills, certifications, online courses I paid for secretly. I didn't announce it. I didn't ask permission. I moved quietly. He mistook my silence for surrender. He grew bolder, meaner, more careless. You wouldn't survive on your own. You'd come crawling back. No one would take you seriously. Sometimes he said it jokingly, sometimes not. Then came the woman. I didn't catch him because I was suspicious. I caught him because he became sloppy. Phone tilted away. Messages deleted too fast. A new energy, lighter, crueler. One night, he came home late, smelling like unfamiliar perfume. I asked him directly. He didn't deny it. Instead, he laughed. "You should be thanking me," he said. "At least one of us is still desirable." That was the night I stopped crying. Not because I wasn't hurt, but because the hurt finally hardened into clarity. I didn't scream. I didn't throw things. I didn't beg. I smiled. I hope she makes you happy, I said. He looked confused, almost disappointed. What he didn't know was that I had already applied for a job, one he assumed I was unqualified for, one in an industry he believed was too competitive for me. I got it. Not because of him. In spite of him. I didn't tell him. I let him think I was still dependent, still stuck. For months, I built my exit carefully. Saved money. Made connections. Documented everything. The insults. The infidelity. The financial manipulation. I waited for the right moment. It came on a random Tuesday. He walked into the kitchen, annoyed. I'm meeting her tonight, he said casually. Don't wait up. I placed a folder on the table. Divorce papers. Bank statements. Screenshots. He flipped through them slowly, confusion turning into panic. What is this? He asked. My life, I said calmly. And my future. He laughed nervously. You can't do this. You don't even know how to survive alone. That's when I slid my offer letter across the table. 6 figures. My name. My achievement. The color drained from his face. You can't. I already did, I said. For the first time in years, he looked small. You'll regret this, he snapped. You'll fail. I picked up my keys. I already survived you, I said softly. Everything else will be easy. The divorce wasn't dramatic. He tried to threaten, then negotiate, then apologize. Too late. A year later, I ran into him by accident. He looked older, tired, smaller than I remembered. He stared at me like he was seeing a ghost. You look different, he said. I smiled. I remembered who I was. As I walked away, I didn't feel victorious. I felt free.